Yeah, today I'm here to discuss with you another information that will help you to move to your dream destination. And today we're going to be talking about UK, and I will be introducing you to the charity workers visa, which is a temporary visa which lasts for about 1 year for you to volunteer in the UK. So I'll be taking you very quickly through this. Actually, you can do voluntary for as a charity worker, and some other religious worker also get through to UK with this visa. So I'll just tell you briefly how you can move to the UK. You only need to get a voluntary job, which I'm going to show you how you can get a voluntary job through one of the organizations that willingly giving out voluntary job. And you know the beautiful thing about this visa is that you do not need IELTS. You also do not need you don't need proof of fund in most cases unless you do not have sponsorship. But of course, you will need a sponsorship to get through with this visa. And most time, your sponsorship will be giving you stipend, and they are gonna give you accommodation, health insurance, and everything you require. So once you later bear this, then you do not need any form of proof of fund. But if you later does not bear this, then you'll be needing proof of fund. But that is just about £1,270. And for this visa, you can move with your family to the UK, and you are able to work as a volunteer for this team, whereby your dependent can work if they are above 18, like your spouse can work. And in addition, you can also work for 20 hours in a week. So while you're doing this, you can work 20 hours in a week, or you can decide to go for courses. Some people use this opportunity to run some short courses like, taking care of children, taking care of the adults, and other kind of courses which they run. For this voluntary work, there are different categories. You may decide to be taking care of the elderly, like a caregiver, or children with disability, or you can also even be teaching and a number of other things, including languages and other things which you may be doing. So one of the organization which I would strongly recommend to you is Caregil Movement. If you come to Caregil Movement, they are willingly taking people. You can just go and contact them. Otherwise, there are different programs which they run. So you can look at the programs here. I'll say a list of the programs which they run, and any of these programs could grant you the opportunity to move to the UK. But then, the program which I would recommend to you is the International Community Volunteer Program, which is actually meant for people who are also offshore to volunteer in the UK. And this program will give you the opportunity to move. So, what you need to do is to contact them and give us some of your details, and they will get back to you. So you just drop your details and they will write you back and find out how you can volunteer to come to the UK. Like I've said, there are different things you can actually do if you volunteer with them, including caregiving and all the rest of them. So you just look it up. But let me come back to the government website. Here they've put in all the eligibility criteria for you to come to the UK. Like I told you earlier on, you can actually move to the UK with your family, and you're able to work for at least 20 hours in a week, and you're able to also let your spouse work full time, those who are not volunteering with them. But just a quick one, this is the overview. Let's start with the overview. You can see that for this program, you can apply as a temporary worker, charity worker visa if you want to do an unpaid voluntary work for a charity and you meet other eligibility requirements, which I would like to take you through. Okay, so the other eligibility requirement means that you will need to have a certificate of sponsorship, which is, of course, a number, like I've said earlier in my previous videos, and you need to have 1,270 available unless you are exempted. And how will you be exempted? You will be exempted when your employer have written that he's going to take care of your healthcare, you're going to take care of your accommodation, feeding, and all that. So then that will be fine. You must be 18 years of old age, and you cannot get this visa if you're already in the UK as a religious worker or charity worker in the past 1 year, unless you can prove you were actually outside of the country. So you can see more details about um, certificate of sponsorship, which I've told is a number, and money to support yourself. But I will just go back to the main page and let's go on. So you can see sponsorship. You must have a certificate of sponsorship from a licensed employer before you can apply to come to the UK, and that is where the these guys Scar Jail movement will be coming in to play a role to support you for that. Now, how long it takes? You can apply for a visa up to 3 months before the day you are due to start work. Okay, and this date is listed on your certificate of sponsorship. So once you apply, you can be granted, and you can actually move 3 months before the day you're starting your job. And getting a decision from outside of the UK, it takes 3 weeks, but from within the UK, it takes 8 weeks. Because within the UK, they have a lot of paperwork to do. They have to verify your stay in UK if it's legal. They have to check many documentations and if you've committed crime and all that. So it takes longer time from within the UK. Okay, and the cost your partner or children will each need to pay the application fee, one. Then secondly, you need to pay the healthcare subcharge, which is usually 1,035 per year. You can check how much you have to pay. And again, you need to prove you have enough personal savings. Check how much eligibility requirements, so which I've already told you. And the application fee for each person is 298. So if you're coming for with your family, you have to pay all that. In most cases, the company will pay for all of you, and sometimes the company will just pay for you alone, where you pay for your spouse. Okay, yeah. And the fee is the same whether you are applying from outside of UK and from inside of UK. I just go back to let's go to the documents you need for you to apply. Of course, you know the usual documents will be needed. Your certificate of sponsorship is the primary one, your passport, evidence that you have enough personal savings, if you don't have an exemption, proof of relationship with your partner and children, because you want to move with your partner and children, you must prove your relationship. And lastly, you must show that you're fit physically, and you must show tuberculosis test certificate for countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and a number of other countries which are required to do this. Okay, and you need to provide a certificate of translation if any of the documents are not in English. It has to be translated to English or Welsh. Now, the next thing is how to apply. I just want to take you through each and every one of them. Yeah, how to apply is you must apply online if you're outside of the UK, and you will either have your fingerprint or photograph taken at Visa Application Center. This is to get your biometrics resident permit, and you use the UK Immigrant ID Check app to scan your identity document. You will also create a sign into your UK visa and immigration account. So you will have to apply online by hitting up this apply online button. So the next is your partner and children. More information you may want to know. The first thing is that you have to prove that they are related to you. Okay, you know how to prove that your spouse is related to you by marriage certificate. A dependent partner or child is any one of the following: your husband, wife, civil partner, or married partner. Your child under 18, including if they were born in the UK during your stay. Your child over 18, if they are currently in the UK as your dependent. You will need to provide evidence of your relationship to your dependent when you apply. So you have to keep that in mind, okay? Yes, so you must be able to prove one of the following. You are in civil partnership or marriage that recognized in the UK. You've been living together in a relationship for at least 2 years when you apply. You've been in a relationship for at least 2 years when you apply, but you cannot live together, for example, because you're working or studying in different places, or it is not acceptable in your culture. So once you're a partner, even with a marriage, you can be able to do this in as much as you can establish. And this is for children, okay? Um, they must live with you unless they're living away from home in full-time education, for example, in a boarding school or university, or not, and they must not be married or in a civil relationship. Otherwise, they will not be dependent again. And then this is what it takes to apply. Um, you or your partner or child will need 285 for your partner, 315 for one child, and 200 for each additional child. This is what it's going to cost you, okay? Um, yeah. Then you can see you or your partner or child would need to have 600 pounds to bring your partner and one child with you. So, in addition to the previous 1270, which you should support yourself, you will be needing to bring additional 600 pounds to take your spouse and your partner, one of your child and your spouse, okay, and 315 for any additional child. Yeah, so that is about the cost. So you can go through all this anyway to see details about identity check, how you can extend your stay, and other informations, even including children, whom you've had in the UK. So just go through it and see. But then you can hit up, even on LinkedIn, you can check voluntary jobs in the UK. You can check religious worker job in the UK. Even on LinkedIn, you're going to see a lot of them with sponsorship. And you can, once you get the certificate of sponsorship, you can come up here and fill up the form and move to the UK. But then you should be aware that this is a temporary work visa. So once you move, after 1 year, you're required to stay. But then there are many things you can do that will help you to get a permanent stay, like running some programs. And apart from that, once you visit, it's quite easier for you to go back to the UK. So it's something worth doing. And the good thing is that you're gonna work for at least 20 hours every week, and your spouse can work full time, and your children can be able to study while in the UK. A number of benefits are all associated with this. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up here, and I wish you the best of luck. See you in my next video. Cheers.